On this episode of Geek Dad Life, we're going to review the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Bat-Raptor. Hello everybody and welcome to Geek Dad Life. It's your host Jay Gladfelter here, and the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Bat-Raptor arrived on my doorstep tonight, and I just knew I had to review this thing right away. Because one, I didn't realize how big this thing was going to be. It was a lot bigger than I expected. I don't know, maybe just like the pictures deceive me. Yeah, it's bigger, bulkier, heavier, more premium than I thought it would be at the $24.99 price point. So I definitely wanted to crack this thing open and check it out and share it with all of you and kind of get my thoughts down to video on this first vehicle from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse toy line. Now, this Bat-Raptor is designed to work with your Detective Comics 1000 Batman, and it's from the Batman Who Laughs #1 is where it made its debut. And yeah, it looks just looking at the package, it looks really nice. I will say though, I got this on Amazon, and they are not kind to their boxes. Amazon is definitely not the way to go for collectors that like to keep their stuff in box. I don't. I'm an opener. Definitely something to consider when looking out for this vehicle. I am going to do my full 6-category 30-point score here to see if it is shelf worthy. So without any further ado, let's crack this thing open and take a look inside. So right off the bat, I can see it has the dreaded zip ties. Hopefully it's not too difficult to get those off. But yeah, this the whole box kind of seems more plain than when it's just the figure. It definitely has some heft to it even when you take it out of the box. It definitely feels premium comparatively. And yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 5 zip ties to get rid of. But hopefully it's not too hard, so I'll get my trusty string clipper here from my guitar. Usually I like it just because it's curved, so there's unlike scissors, maybe a knife, there's less chance to accidentally like cut something or scratch something along the way. So let's get these cut off. Let's take this bad boy out. Pretty easy once it was snipped, so that's good. It's not some crazy thing you have to kind of go out of your way to try and get out of the box. Wheels kind of feel great right out of the box, and this one comes with a card just like the action figures do. And yeah, it looks great just like the other cards, featuring artwork from its appearance in the Batman Who Laughs #1. Gives little details for the vehicle. And yeah, it's really neat. I think, Bat-Raptor is definitely in that kind of Bat Pod vein or Bat motorcycle. Not, your full Batmobile, but a little bit maybe more agile and nimble. For a more premium adult collectible, it rolls really well. It rolls like a good toy would, or a good toy car would. So I think that's pretty cool. The tires are like a heavier rubber, which is really nice. Let's go into the detail on the sculpt. And the paint apps. I really like it. It has like kind of a worn metal look that's really neat. So even though it's plastic, the paint and the wash kind of makes it seem kind of like a worn paint on metal look. And then even the bat symbol though is a little bit shinier than the rest. It's a bit matte, so I think that's really neat. Plus the little details there where the wheel is and on the side, showing the kind of mechanisms and motors that go into spinning the front wheel. And kind of see the details on the inside. There's no handle or anything like that, which I think just makes it easier to put the figure in. So be curious to see the little bat details there on the sides, which is pretty cool. And again, yeah, the wheels are really nice, heavy rubber. It's not like a cheap, tinny plastic, which is cool. And again, some nice paint deals on the back. Again, a good wash that gives it that metallic, like a real metallic look, which is pretty cool. So in person, I'm really impressed so far. It seems bigger, it seems more premium, it seems really high quality, especially at the $24 price point. Bringing in the Batman now, this is like kind of the ultimate moment to see how this thing looks with a Batman figure in it. So let's kind of take a stab at putting in the Batman figure into the Bat-Raptor. This is where, I think a cloth cape would have made it a little bit better. So see if it has. Probably wouldn't. See if we can tuck it in with the cape, which quickly I'm seeing is not going to work. So I'm going to like put the cape on the outside, kind of like the old Kenner Batmobile would do with the capes. And again, I know it's been said by other people as well as myself. I think a cloth cape on these figures would have done a bit better, even though this one's pretty movable, pretty rubbery, so it's not impeding it too much. I think it would have made a little bit better, especially for situations like this, putting it in the Bat-Raptor. It does, I think show its scale once the figure is in it. It feels a lot bigger before the figure, and then once you have the kind of 7-inch scale figure in it, it does seem a bit smaller, which I think is what's kind of deceived my eye when looking at pictures of it online before seeing it in person. But still, for a smaller Bat vehicle, it's really cool. I think it adds to your display ability. I always like, beyond just the figures, if you've seen the tour of my toy room, my office, I love play sets and vehicles and stuff like that, because I just think it gives you more display options for your collection. So the fact that McFarlane Toys took a stab at it here right off the bat with their first wave of DC Multiverse figures is pretty cool, and I think they did a really good job, because it looks really good, even though it's a smaller scale vehicle. But I think at the $24.99 retail here on this thing, I think it's definitely a good value for the money. Wanted to compare the Bat-Raptor to Mattel's first Bat vehicle that they made, their Batmobile, from their 2003 Batman line. And yeah, I think, with nearly 2 decades separating these vehicles, I think it's shown the changes in kind of premium toys, but the fact that, they don't really make big Batman vehicles anymore these days. And, McFarlane it's not a Batmobile, and I assume he'll do a Batmobile at some point. But yeah, it's kind of neat to see some of the changes that have happened in making toys over the past, nearly 20 years. All right, now it's time to tally up our points and see if this Bat-Raptor is shelf worthy. And we're going to start with packaging. It's pretty boring, but it gets the job done. I think it shows, the vehicle well. And while there are zip ties, which is annoying, once you cut them, it was pretty easy to get out, and it protected the vehicle inside. So gonna give it a 3, a nice boring 3. All right, next up is the paint and sculpt, and gonna give it a 5. Like, I think it looks really good. I think, especially for a mass retail vehicle, I think the wash they did looks really great. I love the kind of matte paint and the glossy paint on the bat kind of symbol on the front of the vehicle, and then all the little details. It just looks really good. And I mean, bat vehicles are pretty simple. It's a lot of black and gray, but I think overall, I think they did a really good job. Next up is articulation, which is a little bit different for a vehicle, but I'm going to say it's a 5 on articulation in that it works really well as a vehicle. It rolls around and very easily, and it does the vehicle thing very, very well. So maybe a little bit easier to grade as a 5, because all the things it should do for a vehicle, it does. QC, going to give it a 5 as well. Not a single issue or problem. Again, it's a lot simpler because there's a lot less moving parts for a vehicle, but still, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, especially with rubber wheels and, how well do they move and stuff like that. So easy 5. For accessories, it's going to get a 1. Barely got a 1 with the card. Other than that, not really any accessories to speak of. I'm not disappointed. It's a nice looking vehicle for $24, but yeah, can't give it more than a 1 there. And then last but not least is fun factor, and this one gets a 5. It works really well as a vehicle. It looks cool. I think it adds to the display ability of the Batman, the DC 1000 Batman. And again, at $24, I love the quality that we're getting here for the price point for McFarlane Toys. So is it shelf worthy? Yes, it is at 24 points out of 30. And I think it makes the DC 1000 Batman more shelf worthy. It looks great. Again, for $24, I think the quality we're getting here is really nice. It feels like a premium quality product for something that's supposed to be hit in mass retail. So I think that is great. So if you were on the fence or maybe just didn't really get a good gauge of it from the pictures, which I didn't. I kind of bought this on Amazon just to see if it was kind of worth it, and I really feel like it is, and I'm thankful for the purchase. So if you're on the fence, I definitely suggest going out and finding this vehicle. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Geek Dad Life. If you like what we're doing here, hit like, hit subscribe, and click on that bell icon to be notified when the latest episode of Geek Dad Life drops. We'll see you next week. I do have some more Batman reviews coming down the pike. With some Spin Master reviews. I've got the new Batmobile and one of the Batman figures from that line, as well as I do have the Batgirl figure on order, and hopefully that'll come sometime next week. So definitely be on the lookout for those videos. Until then, hasta luego, and goodbye.